cracked teeth, abundant pain in my joints and my muscles, which you hear about from a lot of vegans, especially vegan athletes. Oh, I'm always in pain. I'm always using a roller. It's not supposed to hurt.
I'm always using a roller though. This is a new one. I know many vegan athletes and they all report the opposite. They feel amazing. Also, why are we relying on this kind of unverified anecdotal evidence?
So the best thing you could ever do for the environment, for animal safety, and for your own health is to eat a steak from a small grass-fed farm.
Hey, what is going on, guys? So today we have some of the worst anti-vegan cringe I've heard in a while to respond to. It is from Dave Asprey, an ex-raw vegan turned anti-vegan. Wow, we've never heard of that before. Who recently dropped a video covering whether a vegan diet is a scam. We've covered Dave Asprey and his anti-veganism on the channel before, which definitely slowly helped deteriorate my mental health. So I figured, why not do it again? Before responding directly to the video, I'm going to be covering just some of what he represents and the claims he's made in the past, just to show how ironic it is for somebody like Dave to be the judge of whether or not something is a scam. Dave is the guy who started Bulletproof Coffee, which essentially is where you add 2 tablespoons of butter and 1 tablespoon of MCT oil to your coffee, starting your day with around 27 grams of saturated fat. Now, Asprey claims in his book, The Bulletproof Diet, that a diet high in saturated fat is actually good for you. So of course, in his view, starting your day with 27 grams of saturated fat is not a problem. He supports his claim that a high saturated fat diet is beneficial with the meta-analysis whose conclusion doesn't even support his claim. Either way, we have this review showing that reducing saturated fat intake reduces the risk of cardiovascular disease, and this systematic review and meta-analysis, and this meta-analysis from 2020. Asprey also claims in his book that grass-fed beef has more CLA, or conjugated linoleic acid, than grain-fed beef. He also claims that CLA improves brain function, causes weight loss, and reduces your risk of cancer. To support this, he cites this study, which only shows a 6.3 milligram difference, or 0.0063 gram difference in CLA between grass-fed beef and grain-fed beef per 100 grams. There was 25.2 milligrams of CLA per 100 grams of grain-fed beef and 31.5 milligrams of CLA per 100 grams of grass-fed beef. He never cited any health outcome data to support his claims about brain function, weight loss, and cancer, nor any evidence to show that a 6.3 milligram difference in CLA is clinically significant. What's interesting is that there is scientific evidence suggesting weight loss, potential anti-cancer, and anti-diabetic properties from CLA supplementation, but many of these were largely in animal trials and cell cultures. But in trials with humans showing weight loss, the humans were supplementing with multiple grams of CLA per day. In order to get even a gram of CLA from grass-fed beef, you would have to consume nearly 3.2 kilograms of grass-fed beef per day, which is close to 6,300 calories of grass-fed beef. Amazing. Asprey's book also advocates for a reduction in the consumption of grains and fruits. This is bizarre considering the evidence we have linking whole grains to reduce risk of cardiovascular disease, cancer, diabetes, and obesity, and fruit consumption has also been associated with a reduction in cardiovascular disease and cancer risk. He even cites an anecdote in his book to support his diet, claiming that he cut his sleep in half and started eating 4,000 to 4,500 calories and just grew a six-pack. Totally. And lastly, in an effort to get you to buy his brand of coffee, he speaks in his book about mold toxins in coffee and cites a study showing 50% of brewed coffees are moldy. What he does not mention is that 40% of the brewed coffee samples in the study he cites contain less than or equal to 1 microgram of okra toxin per kilogram of coffee, which is not at a high enough dose to be considered dangerous. It's even well within the acceptable limits established by the EU. But none of that stops Asprey from saying, look, all those other coffees are toxic, buy mine. All right, so now that we've established the irony of somebody like Dave Asprey trying to assess if the vegan diet or anything is a scam, let's go on and respond to his video on vegans directly.
Is the vegan diet a scam? No, the vegan diet is not a scam unless you're promoting the vegan diet and you know it doesn't work.
All right, so we're off to an interesting start. I know that the vegan diet can work and that it can generate positive health outcomes, help the planet, and animals. Oh, and to be clear, so when I say vegan diet in this video, I just mean veganism because I'm pretty sure this is what he means when he says vegan diet. But anyway, since I know all these things, I guess when I spread the vegan diet, it is not a scam?
So if you're a big industrial food company trying to make people vegan for your profits, then yes, you are conducting it as a scam.
Yeah, I don't really follow this. He said a vegan diet is only a scam if you're promoting it while knowing it doesn't work. Then he goes on to say that if you're a food company trying to make people vegan for your profits, yes, you're conducting it as a scam. But surely a food company can have the goal of making people vegan because they think the diet works, while also wanting to do this so they can generate profits. So I don't really see how what he said logically follows necessarily, but anyway.
But if you're like me and you were a devout vegan and it made you sick, it wasn't a scam. You actually did it for the right reason. And one of the reasons I'm so passionate about teaching you what to eat is that the vegan diet really harmed my health, as it has for hundreds of thousands of other people.
Yeah, so just know that Asprey was actually a raw vegan, so most likely just did a suboptimal version of a vegan diet. But he also goes on to claim that the vegan diet has harmed the health of hundreds of thousands of people. What's his evidence for this claim? Literally nothing. He just says it. Amazing. Let's keep going.
I respect my vegan friends. I love my vegan friends, and yes, I tease them, but we share the same values. I want to reduce animal suffering, which is why I've been one of the earliest and loudest voices promoting grass-fed animals from smaller farms. The more we support small farms, the more we help the environment, which is the second reason that you might want to consider changing your vegan diet.
So first of all, veganism, at least in my view, is not just about suffering reduction, but also animal rights. Grass-fed farms still violate animal rights in that they involve breeding, exploiting, and murdering animals for profit. And this whole spiel about grass-fed beef being better for the environment is just comical. Grass-fed beef can use around 80% more land than conventional beef and can lead to more emissions due to cows taking a longer time to reach slaughter weight than conventional beef, giving them more time to emit methane. Getting everybody on board with grass-fed beef does not only entail breeding animals into existence whose rights will be violated, but could also entail using 108% of our agricultural land to supply only 2% of our global calories. Check out my video on why animal agriculture is a joke for the environment for more info.
Eating a cow kills less animals than eating a soy burger that killed thousands of animals just to chop up the soy.
No evidence whatsoever for this claim. Moving on.
I want to reduce suffering. I want to respect and improve the planet.
Oh man, guys, seriously, if you haven't seen it, please check out my video on animal agriculture and the environment after this. Promoting conventional animal agriculture while claiming to care about the planet is funny enough, but promoting grass-fed beef while doing this is even more insane.
And most of all, I believe that we share the value of wanting to perform better and feel better as human beings. The fact that you can have good intentions, you can execute it and not get the results you want, it doesn't mean that it's a scam. It means that it didn't work. And the evidence is abundantly in from a scientific perspective that humans do not thrive on vegan diets. We may survive for a while, and there are countless reasons I've written about in my books about why it might not work for you.
Yeah, no evidence cited for this claim, but we have all this evidence going directly against it. And we already saw with the brief analysis how unreliable his book is, so I'm not going to be looking at him saying, go read my book though, as a good form of evidence.
The truth is, plants are conspiring against you to steal your minerals.
Yeah, so this is basically a reworded version of plants are trying to kill you. I've covered this in depth in this video, plus in my first response to Asprey. Check them out for more info.
What I experienced was brittle bones, cracked teeth, abundant pain in my joints and my muscles.
Yeah, these are all things you might experience when consuming a very deficient raw vegan diet. Very surprising.
Cracked teeth, abundant pain in my joints and my muscles, which you hear about from a lot of vegans, especially vegan athletes. Oh, I'm always in pain. I'm always using a roller. It's not supposed to hurt.
I'm always using a roller though. This is a new one. I know many vegan athletes and they all report the opposite. They feel amazing. Also, why are we relying on this kind of unverified anecdotal evidence? Why can't he just show evidence of vegan athletes experiencing more pain than non-vegan athletes? Oh, I know why. Because he doesn't have that evidence and he thinks that unverified anecdotes are a sufficient form of evidence for his claims. Amazing.
Fake meat products are loaded with bad oils, junk fillers, and on a vegan diet, you end up eating mostly low-quality carbohydrates and seed oils.
What junk oils is he talking about? What junk fillers? Can you just be a little bit specific here? That would be great. And how is he claiming that on a vegan diet you end up eating mostly low quality carbohydrates and seed oils? Seed oils and refined carbohydrates are not even a necessary entailment of a vegan diet. So why is he claiming that on a vegan diet you end up mostly eating either? I consume a vegan diet and most of the carbohydrates that I consume are from fruits, whole grains, and legumes. My diet is also not mostly seed oils. If the claim, quote, on a vegan diet you end up eating mostly low quality carbohydrates and seed oils was true, it must be impossible for me to formulate a vegan diet without mostly refined carbohydrates and seed oils. Let's see if this is possible. Okay, meal one, we have 1 cup of oatmeal, 1 cup of unsweetened soy milk, 1 apple, 1 scoop of protein powder, pea protein or something like that, 2 tablespoons of natural peanut butter, and 1 tablespoon of maple syrup. Next meal, we have 1.5 cups of quinoa, 1 cup of black beans, 1 cup of diced tomatoes, 1 cup of broccoli, and 1 tablespoon of olive oil. Next meal, we have 1 cup of brown rice, half a block of tofu, 1 avocado, 1 bell pepper, half a cup of diced diced carrots, and 1 tablespoon of olive oil. And of course, a vitamin B12 and vitamin D supplement. This all adds up to 2,500 calories, hits all of my nutrient targets, and is nowhere near being mostly seed oils and refined carbohydrates. I guess we just violated the laws of physics in Dave Asprey's view because
On a vegan diet, you end up eating mostly low-quality carbohydrates and seed oils, and you cannot get enough protein because vegan protein comes packed with huge amounts of carbohydrates you don't want.
Okay, I get anywhere from 150 to 170 grams of protein per day. So I'm not sure how we can claim that when you go vegan, you won't get enough protein. And what exactly are these carbohydrates that I don't want? My questions are endless here with all this vague nonsense.
So the best thing you could ever do for the environment, for animal safety, and for your own health is to eat a steak from a small grass-fed farm.
Yeah, guys. Check out how safe this cow is that is about to be murdered for your grass-fed steak. Safety is when you're about to have your life taken for profit. Amazing. Very safe. Alrighty guys, thank you so much for watching. If you appreciate my work and want to get early access to it, you can click the link in the pinned comment and support me on Patreon. And if you don't know, I do have a book going over most, if not all, of the anti-vegan arguments you're going to hear online. If you want to get that as well, that'll be linked in the pinned comment, as well as 2 links for vegan merch and vegan protein powder, both of which, if you purchase, will help support the channel. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.
Dude,
Fuck off, I don't want anything to do with you. Don't ever speak to me again. You're a fucking piece of shit.
even vegans don't get your weird, stupid wannabe sense of irony here. Who is your audience? Nobody gets these dumb jokes. Dude,